this is a very thin bezel between the two devices. If you notice that was one of the other engineering feats we had to really overcome. There's been other types of dual touchscreen technology that have been developed, but the big problem has been creating a seam that actually visibly, it doesn't take away from the profile of the product. And what you'll notice here is that this is a very thin seam that's only able to be visible when you really look really close up to it. Your eye actually gets very used to this the more that you use it. So one of the next things I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you a couple more demos. So that was one mode. We saw tablet mode. We saw some optimization for the application you just saw. Let me just go into the picture gallery and show you how this looks on the Echo.
Yeah, video's got to be fantastic on this thing.
Yeah, one of the things, David, is like you can actually look at video, you can look at pictures. Here's some pictures. What you can do is you can actually select and sort pictures here at the bottom. As you notice, it's actually displaying them at the very top as I change them. I can actually scroll through the top as well and achieve the same thing.
So that's really an optimized use of that dual screen.
Yeah, so here, you mentioned video. Let me show you a video. Here's an actual video that will play at top. And as that video is playing, I can do the same thing again. I can actually scroll through my pictures. This really becomes great. Let's say you're at the Super Bowl and you took 80 different pictures and you want to scroll through them and kind of manage them. This becomes a very practical application for that. And as you notice, that this video is actually going to play here. You'll see it's actually playing simultaneously as I change pictures down below.
Fantastic.
So one of the great things that a lot of people like to do is they like to send these pictures off. So one of the things I can do there.
Yeah, so you kind of scroll through your library and upload it to Facebook.
Yeah, let me just show you that. So I'm going to go to Share. I'm going to go to Facebook. And as you see, it just now uploaded it. And one of the things you'll notice is this huge keyboard just popped up below. This is one of the largest keyboards that you're ever going to use on a device. It's actually bigger than a physical keyboard that you would see in a slider type product. If you'll notice, I can actually type on this thing, upload the picture, and there it goes.
Oh, that's fantastic. So yeah, so you're really getting a full 3.5-inch screen for that keyboard. That's bigger than the physical screens that you see today, physical keyboards you see today.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I see ViewQ. Let's talk a little bit about, obviously this is a great device for YouTube. What can you do unique there?
Yeah, so one of the applications that was developed by Kyocera is this YouTube product. What it actually allows you to do is you can watch a YouTube video up top, very similar to what we just saw from the gallery. And while you're playing that video, you can actually drag other videos and have them queue up down below in this menu system. You can see, as I'm dragging these across, it will actually start to buffer while I'm using this product, while I'm using this application. And so when I'm done with this application, I can automatically move into the next one and have it start playing. And also, I can actually remove them as well by just selecting the app and hitting delete.
So I understand so I can queue up to 4 and then delete them if I need to?
That's right.
Oh, that's absolutely fantastic. Okay, you talked a little bit about simultasking. Can you explain simultasking? Because what you showed so far seems like you're optimizing in the tablet mode. Yeah,
so let me show you an example of simulcasting, tasking. We're probably simultasking this, right? Let's see. I'm going to go in and I'm going to actually launch email. And one of the things that you can do is there's a special gesture that's been created for this product. So what you do is you put a finger on the top and the bottom screen. And what happens is you get a task manager that allows you to actually manipulate what's on the top screen and what's on the bottom screen. So I have a browser, I have my address book, email, a gallery, messaging, phone, and then ViewQ. These are actually what 90% of people do with phones is within these categories of applications. And it's really where you get the most benefit from doing a simultasking type app. So for example, let's say I wanted to dedicate the bottom to text messaging, and my top I maintain as email. So you notice this screen is actually on the top. It's got my email. I can actually go back to my inbox. One of the great things about text messaging it's really kind of intermittent form of communication. So what you do is you send out a text message and then you usually wait for someone to reply. So, for example, let's say I just sent a text message to my friend here, asking me when are we meeting for the game. So, I can go in, hit send, and there it goes. And then what I can do is I can actually go back to my email while I'm waiting for that response, and I can actually answer an email while I'm doing that. And the same thing, I can go in, hit reply, and you'll notice how responsive this is. This is all being powered by a 1 gigahertz Snapdragon processor. And see, I can actually move back and forth. And one of the other things that you can do too is you can actually pinch. And if you hit this middle button, what it does is it reverses the order of the screens. So you can actually put your text messaging at the top and your email right at the bottom.
Right, so you can rotate it.
Yeah, and you can also, you can change orientation again for both of these, and the same thing happens.
Now I noticed, Creed, you also have browser.
Yeah, so let me actually show you that, because this is actually one of my favorite features. So a lot of us are actually probably in the crowd doing Twitter and probably also Facebooking at the same time. Now typically, unless you've got two phones or you've got your laptop in front of you, it's very hard to accomplish what I'm about to show you. So one of the things you can actually do is you can actually bring up a web browser, and the web browser can actually live in both screens as one large web browser. So I can actually enlarge it, and so here's my Facebook. But the other thing I can do is I can actually click on this button in the very corner, and what it does is it actually brings up a second browser, so I can actually independently run two web browsers at the exact same time. So, what are you going to use that for, right? Well, let's say I wanted to bring up Twitter down below, and I can actually tweet what I'm doing down here, and I can have Facebook at the top, all at the same exact time. I mean, this is a social networking multitasker's dream come true.
So that's not David Blaine, but that's not bad.
Yeah. So you can also swap these. You can go to any other website you'd like. You can actually go up and put in any other URL while you're doing this. There you go. And again, you'll see the speed at how fast this thing really moves. It's humming. Okay, so we've shown you email. We've shown you multitasking between different types of communication. We've shown you video. One of the things I really want to show you is what we do with gaming.
Yeah.
So, so there's a game on here. It's Sims, but it takes a few minutes to load because it is a very big game. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start with the game loaded. So this is Sims. It's a game many people know. It's something that actually takes full advantage of this dual touch screen. So for example, this is where you go into the game and you actually create your character. And if you notice, I can actually manipulate the screen and the character from here at the bottom. Then I can also touch here at top. I can change orientation. You notice it actually, the hairstyle. I don't know what kind of person I'm making here. I'm going to stop on the head.
Yeah, I was going to say. You might want to move off of this game.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and go back to the game. Let me show you actually in game mode what this looks like. So once you've created your character, it loads. And while it's loading, I actually want to tell you about what we're doing. We're actually going to be releasing these APIs in the software development kit to our developers in our developer program with Kyocera, so that we can actually have people actually create games and take advantage of this full dual touchscreen environment. So you notice this is it's nighttime here at the Sim house. And I can actually zoom in, zoom out. I can add new furniture. I could probably play this for a while, so I'm going to actually quit while I'm ahead.
I'm going to quit while I'm ahead.
But I think that you get the point. This is really the power of what you get with dual touch screens. So think beyond even games, other applications, whether they're social networking, whether they're productivity tools. Once you have both screens, you really have a whole new avenue of how you can create products that are very innovative. And so we think the developer community is going to think of all kinds of